Who saw that coming?
This is literally a mafia romance.
Hi, welcome to this week's reading vlog. However, I would say it's not the most successful reading vlog because I fully entered a reading slump while filming this video. Honestly, I kind of thought I was already in one when I started it, but I did think that the first book that I picked up would kind of like cure it because I was in the mood to read that book. I'm in the slump where it's like I want to read but literally nothing is grasping my attention. This whole entire video was like just a struggle. It's just me struggling. So hopefully it's a little bit relatable though. I know that if you read a lot, of course you're gonna hit a slump at some point, and unfortunately that is right now for me. You know, if there was a way to avoid a reading slump, like if I could go all year without one, that would be so great. Obviously that's not very realistic, so I'm just happy, or I just hope that it's not very long. But yeah, hopefully this is still entertaining and I hope you enjoy.
I've read to page 120 in Summer Romance. This book is so good. I, funnily enough, was kind of like not really vibing with it at the beginning, which at the beginning I mean less than 50 pages, and so that doesn't even really count. So, but now I'm like in it and I'm really liking it. It's making me a little bit giddy. So if you don't know what this book is about, it's about Allie, the main female character, and she's going through a divorce and basically accidentally reconnects with her best friend's little brother. Like, she doesn't even recognize him because he's changed so much. He's like turned into an adult, you know, and she only remembers him as a kid. So yeah, it's really cute. They are kind of like helping each other out because since she's going through a divorce and he's a lawyer, he like, you know, knows legal things, and she professionally organizes things and he's cleaning out his parents' house. So they're like doing a little swap of, I guess, professions. But it's just so wholesome and it's so cute because I don't think they've said exactly how much younger he is than her. Like, I'm assuming only a couple years because they were at least in high school together. But she keeps describing things as like, or things that she does with him or things that they're doing together as like making her feel like a teenager, and that is like so cute and it's really like warming my heart, and I think that's something that I'm really enjoying about this book so far. So yeah, I'm actually loving this so much and I'm so happy I picked it up, and I'm gonna keep reading. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but since it's just a Sunday night and I've actually gotten ahead of all my chores, I did my laundry. I'm gonna keep reading and then I'll keep you updated. Sorry, I actually just realized I have more to say because she's describing first of all, the little town that she lives in called Beechwood sounds adorable. I want to live there. And also her friend's parents, or I guess her friend's family owns a cottage and a diner in this like little small town. And all I can imagine is the inn. I said the inn? Oh no, an inn and a diner. Is that what I said? I don't know. Anyways, and all I can imagine is the inn from Gilmore Girls. And honestly, this entire town is kind of giving Gilmore Girls, but like at the beach. Like northeast beach. What's it called? Stars Hollow. And I'm really enjoying the vibes of this. So that's just another thing that's added that this book has that I'm loving. So I just wanted to bring that up. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and I gave it 3 stars. However, I think that my book motivation, book inspiration, love of reading is hitting a slump. I think I might be entering a slump, to be honest. I don't want to say I'm entering one. I'm feeling like could possibly be one oncoming. So I'm going to try to combat that, because honestly I just started losing interest last night when I was reading this. But her writing really is so good, and the story is so good, and the characters are so good, that I still really enjoyed reading this. I just felt detached from it, which is not a good sign. That's a very slumpy sign. And I just don't know what to read now, which is so annoying. So I bought like a ton of literary fiction, because in my last video, if you watched that, I was talking about how I just want to read a bunch of literary fiction all at once, and now I'm like not sure if I'm in the mood for that. I still feel like I'm kind of leaning towards that, especially because I have some shorter literary fiction to choose from. But like, I don't want to read a romance, I don't want to read a fantasy, I never in my life want to read a mystery or a thriller, so like that's not how I'm feeling. I don't know what I want to read. I don't know if you know this, but on the app Fable, there's like a little bird that's like their mascot, I guess, or whatever, and there's like an option where you can get him to choose a book for you to read. And he suggested that I read The Book of Doors by I don't know who. However, that is on Kindle Unlimited, but it's a fantasy. I don't know what it is. I usually am like, oh, I don't care to read if I read fantasy in the summer, because, for example, I did read Barrow Bones, The Midnight Soil, and The Night of the Moth in June, which are both very fantasy, and June is the summer. I had no problem doing that, but right now, I cannot think of something that I want to read less than a fantasy book. I just don't know what to do. I might start Margot's Got Money Troubles. Here, let me go grab it. We can chat. I could start this book, Margot's Got Money Troubles by Ruthie Thor. I'll read the description. As the child of a Hooters waitress and an ex-pro wrestler, Margot Millet's always known she'd have to make it on her own. So she enrolls in her local junior college, even though she can't imagine how she'll ever make a living. She's still figuring things out and never planned to have an affair with her English professor, and while the affair is brief, it isn't brief enough to keep her from getting pregnant. Despite everyone's advice, she decides to keep the baby, mostly out of her naivety. So if someone's naive, their naivety doesn't sound like a real word to me, but anyways, and a yearning for something bigger. Now at 20, Margot is alone with an infant, unemployed, and on the verge of eviction. She needs a cash infusion fast. When her estranged father, Jinx, shows up on her doorstep and asks to move in with her, she agrees in exchange for help with childcare. Then Margot begins to form a plan. She'll start an OnlyFans as an experiment. She soon finds herself adopting some of Jinx's advice. She's turned into a runaway success? Could this be the answer to all of Margot's problems, or does internet fame come with too high a price? Interesting. Did not think it was going to go in the direction of her starting an OnlyFans, but I am kind of intrigued because it sounds interesting. I'm just gonna go with this. Also, it's pretty little. It's pretty short. 294 pages. That's not bad. That's, less than 300 pages is not bad. Should I just try it? I'll just try it. We'll just see what happens. To be honest, I'm feeling kind of not slumpish, but like, I don't want to jinx myself and say it's a slump, but I'm not feeling like reading literally at all. So I got to page 59 in Margot's Got Money Troubles, and it's pretty good. Honestly, this probably would be a great book to get out of a slump with, because it's kind of crazy. It's also interesting how it switches perspective in this book, because she's also, I guess, a writer, or she likes to write at least. So then it switches back and forth between being like talking about Margot and then like Margot speaking for herself. So I do think that's really interesting, and I kind of want to keep reading. I don't know. I just like am not motivated to pick up any book at the moment. Maybe I'll try the audiobook or something, because I don't know what's going on and I want to keep reading, but I don't know. I'm just not in the mood to read at all. That's not good. Also, look at this. This coffee I made myself. Okay, it's made with cold brew. I didn't make the cold brew myself, but it's cold brew milk, and then I made my own little foam. It's coconut cold foam. This is literally so good. So yeah, I just wanted to show off that. Anyways, I don't know. This is a weird update. I don't really have a conclusion of if I'm going to keep reading this book, if I'm going to change books. So my next update will be a big surprise for the both of us, I guess. In Margot's Got Money Troubles, I got to page 92, and I'm honestly just not really feeling it. I'm not really feeling anything, because I also started Savor It. Okay, started as
strong word. I got to page maybe 3. Yeah, I literally got to page 3 in Savor It by Tara DeWitt, and I was not feeling it. So I went to Libby because I wanted to check if anything that I have on hold has come in, and luckily I got the 3rd book in the Emily Wilde series, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. So maybe, well no, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna listen to this since I only have the audiobook version, and then I'm gonna color, because that's like the least amount of reading but still reading, if that makes sense, because I'm just listening to an audiobook. And my cat is being very nice to me. He's not usually so nice. Oh, and he's gone. Anyways, that's my plan. I'll let you know how it goes. Yet another book. So from the clips that you saw of me at the pool, I started the book Shield of Sparrows by Devaney Perry. What else has she written? I feel like I've heard her name. Oh, is it the Indigo Ridge series? Maybe? I don't know. I'll put it on the screen after I Google it, of what else she's written. So basically, our main character, Odessa, so she's the king's firstborn daughter, but she has been put in like 2nd place for everything else because of her stepsister, because the main character Odessa's mother died, her dad remarried, and I guess, I don't know, it's like it's a very classic setup of where like the stepmother is very controlling and wants her daughter to be the choice for the kingdom or whatever, like to rule, to be queen. I don't know why I just said it like that. Anyways, I'm only on page 53, so not too much has happened, but main female character's kingdom is dealing with these like monsters or whatever, so they hired this other country to come and kill them, something like that. I don't really know. Anyways, so they just got there, had to deal with the payment of like this group of warriors from the other country killing their monsters. And of course, the main character's stepsister is like, has been prepared to be queen, has been prepared to marry, you know, the other country's prince, even though they don't like each other. You know, it's all for peace purposes or whatever. So something happens, and she is not chosen, but the main female character is. Who saw that coming? You know that from page like 2, you know what's gonna happen, or at least I could. However, my thing is though that the difference between her and her sister, basically like the first choice versus the second choice for like who's gonna rule or whatever, is very interesting. Where her sister, who's been prepped and like I guess poised for ruling, she's like interested in hunting and sword fighting and like very very combative interests, I guess, or I don't know, however they spend their time in this kingdom. But the main female character, like apparently she likes to draw and paint, and I don't know, apparently do things that are considered useless. But I did think that was interesting, because I do feel like that a lot of very stereotypical fantasy main female characters are that, where it's like they're very interested in fighting, they're like super good at sword fighting and stuff like that, you know, like, because you wouldn't expect that from her or whatever. So I do kind of appreciate that the main character is not like that. However, her not like other girls ishness is a little bit much. Apollo's saying hi. Okay, he doesn't care what I'm reading. Anyways, yeah. A little bit of why I chose to pick this one up is because I still have the audiobook for Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, but I just don't really like sit down and listen to a whole entire audiobook very often. So I'll keep that running for as long as it takes me to read it, but I don't really feel like I'm gonna be able to finish that in the time that it takes me to finish this video. And I think I was having this conversation with my friends, and I was like, because I was talking to them about being in a reading slump, and I was like, I just don't know what to do usually when that happens to me. And so I just kind of chose a low stakes romantasy that I like don't actually really care about, but it's entertaining enough to make me want to read. And so far this one is doing that, but if not, I think I'm gonna have to resort to starting like a dark romance or like something crazy. This is what I'm on for now, and I will keep you updated on how I like it. In case anyone thought that I was joking by saying that if I wasn't interested in that romantasy book that I was going to read a dark romance, I'm here to say that I was not joking. Okay, I'm literally 148 pages into a book called Milo, or maybe Milo, because his name is Emilio. Probably Milo. Anyways, who is this by? I don't even know. Okay, by E.L. Lewis. LOL. This is literally a mafia romance
Yeah, this girl, basically she can speak 7 languages. It starts off with her accidentally derailing a bank heist or a bank robbery, and so then the head of the Italian mob kidnaps her, and now she works for him. And I'm actually kind of having a great time. Is this book written very well? No. Do these characters really have any personality? No. Oh, were they immediately lusting after each other on page 15? Yeah. Am I having a great time? Also, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm actually kind of having a good time, and I'll keep you updated. But yeah, I'm on page 148. I'm 34% through the book, and I started it a couple hours ago, probably. So yeah, that's my update for now. I started reading today, and I can't read this book anymore. It's so cringy. Honestly, the dialogue is so choppy. It doesn't really even sound like they're having real conversation because it sounds not real, I guess, or not natural. So I'm stopping this book. I actually am just gonna stop this whole video because I read Summer Romance, and I really feel like I should have loved that book a lot more than I did. I thought it was great, but I wanted to love it. So I gave that book 3 stars, and I still would highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. It just did not like hit me as hard as I thought it would. I tried to read Marg's Got Money Troubles, and I stopped reading that. I will finish it at some point, just not right now. And then what did I start? Was that when I started Shield of Sparrows then? And I stopped reading the one that also, like, I didn't hate that one. It definitely is not a great romance scene. I wouldn't mind finishing it, but I definitely know that it's not going to be something that I love. And then finally, that dark romance that I just stopped reading because, my god, that was cringy. I don't know. Also, like, I guess last night I was in the mood to read that one. So, like, when you're in the mood to read something like a dark romance, like, the cringe doesn't really get to you. But now that, like, I'm not really in the mood for it anymore, the cringe was getting in the way of me enjoying the book. I started a lot of books, only finished one. Unfortunately, though, I do think the solution to a book slump sometimes is to just take a break. And so I'm going to take a break for as long as I can until my next video. And hopefully that will cure me of this issue. But yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry I didn't finish that many books. I feel like weird not finishing books in a video. But yeah. Hopefully I will see you next week for my next video, and hopefully by then my book slump will be gone. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week.